Scots Nation, welcome to our weekly segment of Sitting Down with the Scots. We're joined by Katelyn Witucki. She's a women's golfer here at Maryville College. She comes from Seymour, Tennessee. Katelyn, tell the fans a little bit about what your major is and what you want to do with it after you graduate.
I am going to be a double major in marketing and design. Upon graduation, I would really like to get in with a bigger company or corporation and do advertising, logos, or be on a project team to help work in those kind of departments.
When the spring pandemic took over, of course, it affected our golf schedule, but how did it change the way you wanted to learn and especially being a marketing major, getting in there and doing some design? How did it change the way you had to attack your education?
For me, it took a lot of personal motivation. I think it's very different than actually being in the classroom learning. So for me, the biggest thing was actually motivating myself to stay on top of my studies and my schoolwork. As far as the classes went, I felt like the teachers were really helpful in connecting with students and being there to help us, which was really a big part of, I feel like, my success ending the school year, of course, mainly online. So yeah.
What made Maryville College so attractive to you when making your college decision?
When I first came for my visit, I really liked the smallness of the campus as well as how friendly everyone was. I feel like it's really close knit. So I really liked the atmosphere about it. I also, of course, was attracted to their golf team, was a big pull for me. Um, but I also like how they encourage students to take classes that are not only within our major, but also outside of it. And I feel like that really helped me to be a more well-rounded student as a whole.
If you don't mind, through Scots Nation, I'm going to brag on you just a little bit. In 2 seasons, Katelyn just was ranked 7th in the USA South with an 81.9 scoring average last fall. And the record book is peppered with her name. She's number 1 and number 2 in seasonal scoring average, which is an 85.5 and an 87.4. She's number 1 in birdies in the season with 14. She's number 1 in par 3, par 4, and par 5 scoring. And she has 12 of the top 17 lowest rounds in school history. She has the lowest career scoring average, which is an 85.46. And she's number 1 in career birdies with 27. And I can go on and on and on. The record book is just littered with Katelyn's name. You were just about ready to settle in for another strong season, especially your junior year, and the COVID-19 pandemic took over. I've got to confess a little bit. I know very little about golf. My claim to fame is I played at Centennial over in Oak Ridge and I lost a dozen balls. So I definitely going to use some skill enhancement when we talk a little bit later. One of the things I love about Katelyn is when they go on the road and there's a report that's sent to us, the first thing we do, Chris Cannon and myself, is we go to the record book and see where she's climbing up the ladder each and every time she performs. So we appreciate the high standards that you're putting forth athletically, and we just know that we look forward to the next 1 or 2 years that you're on the golf course with us.
Thank you.
Talk a little bit about your quarantine schedule. What's been your routine like? Most people have to have a set routine just to get through the day.
Right. Well, for me, of course, when we were in school, it would be waking up, getting on Zoom, doing my meetings, and pretty much schoolwork the rest of the day, maybe getting outside once or twice. But since school has been out, I've been trying to get outside, or luckily for me, the golf courses have stayed open. So I've been able to go and practice. I've been to the mountains. I also have a job in Maryville, so I've been going to work that. So that's pretty much been my schedule over the past few weeks.
Well, you're pretty regimented. Once the shelter in place is released, what's the first thing you want to do when you can open those doors and do anything you want to do?
I would say probably just go eat in a restaurant again. It's been too long.
Well, you've got a lot of things that you get to look forward to. But what's one thing during the quarantine you sit down and say, I think I can do without this now. I don't need that anymore.
I would say it's a really good question. I feel like until the quarantine, you don't really realize how many distractions you have. So if it were me, I think this quarantine has actually helped me to prioritize better. I've really been trying to, not be on my phone as much, or to not be running around crazy, but to just really enjoy life and, take it one day at a time and appreciate the small things for sure.
One of the nice things about playing college golf is you play at some outstanding courses through the Southeast. Talk about your top two favorite courses that you've played.
So I tend to remember courses by how good the scenery is or how pretty it is, because we're out there for a lot of hours. So I think for me, that's a big thing with, just appreciating the course and getting to be outside and just playing all the natural beauty. So
Educate the fans a little bit about what the difference is between high school golf and college golf.
for me, I actually felt as though college golf was a little bit more relaxed. One of my favorite parts about college golf is actually traveling to different states and playing. Because, in high school, you play with the same people for 3, 4, however many years, you're with them, you're kind of grouped together. But I think that college gives you both an opportunity to travel and to make connections. I know a lot of the girls I play with, I still talk to, even though they may be several states away. Like I said, I think it's more relaxed in that, as a D3 school also, most of us playing don't have plans to go professional, which I like. So, when we get out there, we are competing, but it's not life or death, if that makes sense. So I think that makes it a really enjoyable experience.
Definitely. Talk a little bit about how your personal skills have progressed over the years. You came in as a freshman golfer, set the world on fire. You set some standards, but then you start to even elevate your skills in your second year.
Yes, I all through high school, I'd had a few swing coaches coming into college, which was really beneficial to me. And even though I was a good player coming into college, I feel like now I'm probably where my game is at its best. Um, and I've had, I think we're on my third coach now, since I've been at Maryville College, and I know that each coach has taken an interest in helping me in my game, and I think that each one of them has ultimately added to my game as a whole. And I think just, the constant practice is something that you have to do if you want to play a college sport. And so for me, just the repetitiveness of being out there and really honing in on your weaknesses has probably benefited me the most and gotten me to where I'm at now.
We spend a lot of time honing our athletic skills, digging into the books, working on our creativity, especially later on with your marketing. What do you like to do to relax? What is a fun thing about Maryville College that Katelyn just says, ah?
I would say for me, I crave going to the mountains. That's my getaway from stress and school, and just to put my phone up and not be connected to anything. So I think one of the best parts about Maryville College is being a 20-minute drive away from the Foothills Parkway. I think that's a really big bonus. And not only that, but on campus, we have the college woods, or there's places students can just go and hang out. And I think that is really beneficial because I don't think some people realize how stressful college can really be. So I think it's important to step back. And I think Maryville College has a lot of really good areas for students to relax and hang out and just, enjoy being in college.
We talked about you developing your skills on the course, in the classroom. We're actually asking everybody we interview if you come up with any personal skills that you've had fun with. Have you learned to play an instrument, singing, dancing? Have you acquired any new skills?
Well, I definitely don't sing or dance, but I would say one thing. I actually took a painting and drawing class this year. And so I had to, of course, finish all my, paintings and drawings at home. And so I have been actually doing more paintings. And I feel like that has been something that I wasn't really familiar with, but now I really enjoy it since I've had so much time to work on it here.
That's great. That's great. And now we're also getting into the other skills that you've developed through Maryville College, whether it be being a leader, time management, critical thinking. When you came from Seymour High School, how have you sort of blossomed over the last 2 years?
Um, I would say that Maryville College has really allowed me, like I said earlier, to be a well-rounded student. Um, Especially with the career center, you come out of high school and you think, you know what you're doing and you think you're ready for a career. And I realized that I really didn't know half the stuff I thought I did, until the career center came up beside me and said, this is how you do an interview. This is what potential, job sites look for. This is how you should prepare for your career. And also, with saving money and having money management skills and time skills. I think that's probably been the most beneficial for me. I know I've done a lot of, mock interviews, and we've gone and done lunch practices, which have been really awesome to do. And I think also being a part of a team in college allows you to learn how to have leadership skills as well as time management with school and a job and sports. So I think Maryville College does a really good job at preparing you for the career field that you're going to go into when you graduate.
Well, that is awesome. To have some fun when we get back on campus, we're talking to all of our interviewees that are very talented athletically. I have no skills in golf, we talked about, except for losing balls. If I were to get on the course with you, what's one skill that you would teach me to make me a better golfer?
I would say the biggest thing in golf is learning how to hone in on a target, because I think people can hit a golf ball all day long, but unless you're hitting where your target is, you're really going to add up the strokes on the course. So I know one thing that I've been working on personally is going out there on the range and, just sitting there and picking a target and seeing how many times you can hit it over and over and over. I know that's one thing I've been struggling with on the course, because I'll get it on the green, but I'll be 20, 30 feet away from the flag, and it's not really beneficial. So I would definitely say being able to hone in and hit your target every time is probably one of the most important aspects of golf.
Well, I look forward to it, and we're going to get together this fall once everything clears up, and I'm hoping to learn some good skills from you. Through all of our interviews, sitting down with the Scots, we're giving the participant the last word. If you have a time to sit down and talk a little bit to your teammates, your classmates, and anybody in the community that wants to hear what you have to say.
Yeah, absolutely. So first off, I just want to say a big thank you to my coach personally. He's been very involved, even though we haven't been able to see each other in person. He's been constantly checking up on us, making sure we're doing okay, and I think that's really awesome from him. Also to my team, we finished up really well in our grades this semester, and they put in a lot of effort last semester, even though it got cut short. So I'm really thankful to be surrounded by both a team and a coach who really dedicate themselves to the sport. I also wanted to read a Bible verse, and it is 1 John 4:4, and it says, "Greater is He that is in me than he who is in the world." And I feel like that is really encouraging right now to know that, Jesus is bigger than anything that we've been faced with recently. And especially, I feel like there's so much, sadness or getting stuck in a rut, just being in the house all the time with this virus going around. So I just want to encourage everybody that, we do have somebody that is for us, and that this will eventually pass. So I just want to thank, all the nurses and all the medical people and the police officers and, anybody that's been working through this. We really appreciate you and all the time that you've put in. And like I said, again, Maryville College has been great through this whole process and trying to get us online and get us back on campus.
We are the sum total of our educations, of the experiences we have, and the lessons we learn. At Maryville College, you study everything, so you'll be prepared for anything, because life is filled with the unexpected. Wherever your path takes you, we'll make sure you're ready. to lead.